everybody. I just wanted to come in with a follow-up video to the lantern project that I actually just completed, and wanted to show you that I actually decided to change out the design on the front. I had the pink in here and I didn't let it dry long enough, so the Happy Valentines kind of pulled up the pink. So I went back in and just added these cute little hearts to the bottom, and I just love how this lantern came out. It's got all the different designs on each side of it. So I wanted to come in and just do a super quick another project using the Build A Valentine transfer from Chalk Couture. So I already laid down the outside of the frame that I'm going to use on here, and this is just a cute little like sandwich board that I got from Michael's. It's got a dry erase board on the one side and a little chalkboard on the other. So this is showing you how to layer with your Chalk Couture transfers, and obviously they are reusable. I used it on the lantern project just a few minutes ago and cleaned it, the transfer, and then used it again on this cute project. So for layering, we want to make sure that our first layer is nice and dry, and then we can go ahead and put our next transfer on. When we have a transfer, we always want to make sure that we label the back of the transfer so that we know this is the shiny side here. We want to put our transfer back on the shiny side when we're finished with it, after we've cleaned it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. I'm going to go over it in white. Now the white on top of the red may actually make it come out a little pink, but that's okay. That's not a big deal. So we take our chalk paste and we are literally just covering the silk screen area. We do not need to cover the teal side or teal pieces of the transfer, just the silk screen. And we do a final pass over with our squeegee, just getting all that excess chalk paste off, because we do want to put that right back into our jar. That way we have plenty of chalk paste to use for many projects. So we pull the transfer off. Actually, it didn't make it pink too much, so that's pretty good. And we need to let that dry. But in the meanwhile, what I thought would be cute was for our hearts down here to add a couple arrows using white. They have a cute little arrow. Again, I labeled the back just so I know which transfer goes on which carrier sheet. And we're just going to put this straight through our heart here, also using white. We'll just put a little, it only requires a very little bit of chalk paste. I put a lot on my squeegee, but I don't need that much. So we're just getting all the excess off. And then what I can do, I can use this transfer again because I made sure that I got all my excess off, so my silk screen is actually nice and clear. So we're going to lay this down on this side and just apply a little more paste right over top, getting all the excess back off. Just grabbing carefully on the end of my, why don't I grab from this end? That might be easier. There we go. How cute is that? Just adding some cute little arrows to our hearts. And while I'm letting the design in the center of my board dry, I'm going to show you how quickly and easily it is to clean our transfer. So I'm just going to spin the camera around. I apologize if I make you dizzy. So I have a pan of water. You can see that my water is now red because I cleaned my transfers off here already. So the process is pretty simple, pretty easy. I'm just going to slide this a little bit more so you can see. Basically, I just have my transfer, excuse me, my transfer in my water. I'm just cleaning off all the excess chalk. And I'm going to lay it down on my towel. This is just an old kitchen towel. And I lay it down with the sticky side up, because what I want to do is I want to clean my transfer. Just making sure I don't have anything else in there. I don't. Just making sure that I clean my transfer very well. That way I can get many uses out of it. So what I do is I just take a little paper towel just to get some of that excess water off of there. Like that. I also put my squeegees in the water and I clean those off because they're like a silicone little squeegee that we can use again and again for multiple projects. So actually I'll throw that squeegee in there that I used for the white so that the chalk can come off of there. Covering up my paste behind me just so that my paste doesn't dry out. So we have our transfers on our towel. So what we do is we just get a Clorox wipe. You can actually use any disinfectant wipe. That's completely okay, dollar store brand. We just recommend you don't use baby wipes on these transfers. Just cleaning all the chalk off the front. We flip it over and we end back on the sticky side just to get any substances that may come up, like little pieces of fuzz or little chalkboard pieces. Just looking to make sure that our silk screen area is completely clear of any chalk or any fuzz or anything. Especially when you put it on your towel here, it will pick up some fuzz. But the cool thing about your disinfectant wipe is that it gets rid of, you know, mostly everything from your transfer. You can see this one's been pretty loved. I have some fuzz on here. But it's okay. If there's fuzz in the teal sections, it's not a big deal. You're only looking to make sure that the silkscreen area is nice and clear. And sometimes if you use darker chalk paste, it will leave a little bit of a pigment on the front of your transfer, but that's okay. It just shows that you've used it quite a bit and you loved it a lot. And again, so long as your silkscreen area is clear, you are good to go. So the disinfectant wipe, actually, after it dries, will bring the stickiness right back to your transfer so that you can go ahead and put your transfer back onto its carrier sheet. I already did these over here, so I'll show you. Here's my little hearts, and it is sticky again, even though my fingers are wet from just using the wipe. So then we just take our transfer and making sure that we put it on the sticky side. There's our hearts. And then we can reuse that transfer again and again. So going back to our project, our white should have dried by now. So we are going to, I think I want to use the Happy Valentine's right here. So I'm just kind of trying to speed the process along of drying my silkscreen transfer with my finger. You can, although I don't recommend it, you can take a little heat tool or dryer to it. I tend to think that that might stretch out your transfer, so I avoid that. I just kind of patiently wait, just making sure. See how you can see I mentioned that it might bleed through pink on here, but that's okay. I'm going to put this right inside of our design. And I think I'm going to use red again. I just like the red and white so much on here. I really like the way it pops on the chalkboard. Just make sure you guys can see my project. There we go. And so our last step on this with our layering of our Build A Valentine transfer is just adding Happy Valentine's Day. And we put our chalk paste on and getting all the excess off. We want to make sure we're putting all that right back into our jar so that we can reuse it again and again. And I put my squeegee right into my water, and I peel my transfer from my chalkboard and right into the water it goes. Voila! There is our cute little sandwich board finished project that I think I will actually probably take this and put it on my desk at work, and that way I can write myself little notes or messages, and I will display this side at work. Thanks so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I also have a YouTube channel, which is Colleen's, which is Colleen_S Chalk Couture. You can find me on Facebook also on Colleen's.chalk couture. I'm sorry, not dot, I keep saying that. Facebook, Colleen's Chalk Couture. You can purchase these transfers and chalk paste, and we also have amazing designer chalkboards that look like this. These chalkboards, if you can see the detail in here, they're so beautiful and so amazing. These are our designer chalkboards. They do have a 50-year warranty with them. The silkscreen transfers can actually be used on wood, the chalkboards, also on glass. This is a cute little project with candy hearts transfer, and I'm gonna put candy hearts in there. And you actually saw the lantern. So obviously I'm getting all geared up for Valentine's Day, decorating my home. So if you saw anything, oh, here's one more little project that I had completed. This one is super cute. You're Just My Type on a wooden heart. If you are interested in any of these projects, here's all our chalk paste, and you are interested in purchasing the silkscreen transfers or the chalk paste or squeegees or our amazing designer boards, you can go right to my online store, which can be found at https://colleen.chalkcouture.com, and there you will find all of these amazing transfers and chalk paste and designer chalkboards. I hope you enjoy. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks.